The SG Child Show is back for its 13th season. Join Sarah Bradford and the SG Child Show team as they explore the world of autism and share stories of hope and inspiration. This season, we're excited to bring you more autism summits featuring experts and advocates from around the world. Go to sgchilds.org.
In the heart of the city, she's shining bright.
Hello, it's so nice to be back. And we have a return guest, which I absolutely love because I love, there's one thing about meeting someone, but there's another aspect when you nurture those connections and you stay in touch and you share one another's success and celebrate each other. So we're so excited to have Dr. Ambrose Pass-Turner and excited to hear about the new projects and things that have been going on in your life. So let any listeners or viewers that haven't or didn't hear your first episode, and please go back and find it so that you can kind of see the contrast of where, she's been then to here. So, but give an introduction about yourself today. And hello, I'm so glad you're here.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to come back and to see you and your wonderful audience. My name is Dr. Ambrose Pass-Turner. I am a counseling psychologist, a professor, and a scholar practitioner, and an author. I'm in private practice, the owner of ADT Counseling Service. It's a mental health and behavioral health agency, and I have been in practice for over 20 years. Within my practice, I work with children, adults, family, and also I have a forensic background, so I work also with the criminal justice system. But I am an expert with working with emotional behavioral children and things like that. Have a connection, work with some school systems also, and I see a lot of children within the school systems who might be having behavioral issues.
Isn't that a fascinating topic? I just had this summit. You can see the thing in the background. And in one of those, there was a research panel. And one of the researchers was from the UK. And so it's just based on UK data rather than the US, but so relevant. He wrote a book, not to diminish this conversation anyway, it's just so relevant to this. It's interesting. And it's something like from the school to prison pipeline. Whoa. And just to talk, a little bit about how that looks as far as that when which system begins, which system ends. I think that's a huge dilemma in our society, in our community, but we're not here to talk about that today. I just wanted to touch on that. I thought that just was really interesting.
Yeah, I heard about that. I've read about that also. Very interesting. The school to prison, definitely there.
Sad, so sad. But today we're going to talk about good things. Yes. Well, tell us a little bit about kind of what's been going on since we've seen you last and some project we're going to talk about, and we'll get more into those.
Well, I think, since you've seen me last, of course, I've been busy. Because it's been about, 2-3 years?
I think so, yes.
Wow. So I've been extremely busy. I also chair the doctoral project for students who's working on their doctor of psychology. So I've been extremely busy with that, reading all those papers and all of that. But also just clients and things like that. I think in the past probably 10 months, I kind of had some health challenges. So I had to take a step back. And during that time is when I wrote I Will Play With Me. Yeah. And that was special because I was in a lot of pain. I was really sick, actually, to the point where they thought that I was going to die at that point, you know, but I pulled through. But the only thing that would relieve my pain was when I started to write. I would play with me, and it just came to me because I couldn't sleep, and I would stay up 24 hours. I couldn't sleep because I was in so much pain, and no one could get the pain under control. And so when I would write, it took my mind off of it. And I would play with you. I just start writing. It's a different writing style. It's a style that I've never used before, you know. And then the name Logan just came to me. It would be Logan. And so that's how the main character became Logan. So that book is extremely special to me. I love all my books and I put everything into each and every one of them. Excuse me. But Logan is special to me because I feel like that the purpose of Logan was to help me get difficult time. And I think that it was teaching me to never give up.
Hmm. I
The
love
book
that.
is about disappointment, him being disappointed and finding a way to get through that disappointment and come out on top. So I believe it was a message because when you're going through things, we all know you get depressed, you get sad. We know we're only human. We have those emotions. And I think for some reason, it was teaching me a lesson. It was telling me you can't give up.
Mm, I love that. And
So that's,
my mind just wants to tell you, my higher self, right? Wants it is like, you had to go through this period of release almost in your body to be able to receive. And there must have been some type of buildup or something that you had to let go of to be able to receive. I don't know why. Just that's what what I'm thinking about. So I think that's, and I'm thinking that because I kind of see that happening for my husband right now. He's quit smoking after 35 years, and I see this
Mhm,
like how he's going through these ebbs and flows of like his body's needing to just release and release and release. At the same time, afterwards, he like gets fueled with these ideas and
mhm,
energies things. So I've just been seeing this interesting pattern, and that came to me when you said that.
mhm.
A different outlook, I
Yeah,
guess. Right?
yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
fascinating.
definitely. It
Well,
was
and
it was a challenging time, so
And
but
I'm a
something
former
good came out of
massage therapist, so I think that the just understanding like how our bodies can, almost break down in times of like they need to take a break and it needs to let go of things and have these times, and sometimes we don't let our minds do that, and so our body's like we're taking that break for you. You are
it.
it is time. Or divine intervention, of course. And we're just, what a blessing that it came from that, and the resiliency, and like you said, the kind of the honor and celebration in putting this book out to help others. I
Yes,
love
because I have like I said, I work with adults and children, but I do have a passion for children. And I think that the early childhood development area is so important. And I definitely believe that if we teach them at that early stage, they'll have less issues when they become adults.
it. Mhm.
However, they won't be free from having issues, but they'll be better able to cope. So my focus has always been on trying to develop children early on at that 3, 4, 5 years as they go through those stages of development, because it's so important with
Mhm.
that. So I do have a passion for working with children, you know, and I think that's the reason why when I start going like this is a lesson for children. You'll be disappointed. Things in life are not going to always go as planned, but that's okay. You
Yeah.
can recover from it,
And there's
you
so
know.
many great ways that I love that you have a book working on that, because it's hard to teach your children excuse me, about disappointment, but it usually happens during disappointment. And then,
Mhm.
you know, and often maybe even watching you and how you model your behavior when you go through specific things like that as well. I think it is, I agree with you, couldn't agree with you more, that teaching this early generation is what will shape society's future. And it's so important that they have these built up skills, especially in the realm of emotions and um, dealing with conflicts, resolving their own, you know, processes. I think it's just imperative that that should be like first, second, and third grade.
Yeah, we would think so. And you know what? You know, as we, you know, to emphasize that I would play with me, Logan did not realize that once he started to, once he became disappointed, he started to use critical thinking skills to help him, problem solving skill and social emotional regulations to resolve the current situation. But he didn't realize that. And most children don't.
Yeah.
And so when I tell parents, when you see that, their little mind and their thinking, we have to, we encourage that, you know, because as you read through the book and you see he's disappointed because he can't go to the playground because it's raining and play with his friends, because that's something that he does every Saturday. My mom takes him there. And, you know, and he goes around the house, well, who will play with me? And so you see him doing going through these different phases or trying to figure it out, you know.
Yeah.
So even at that young age, they are developing, it is the foundation of critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, and social emotional regulation, because he could have became angry, you know, and it's just, but he didn't. He found a way to make the situation better.
Mhm. I love when early reading to my kids when they were little, of, you know, really asking questions as you're going throughout these books. You know, what do you think Logan was feeling? What would you do? How would you feel? What's something that's made you feel disappointed? And the connection you can make then with your kiddo, it's incredible. And I always like to remind parents, you know, kids want connection, not attention. That is what they're
Yes.
craving. When you are
Hmm.
looking and saying, Johnny needs attention, he would like connection. Could you provide him a connecting environment, however that looks for your family, whatever that means? Um, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
Every family has their own ways of doing that. We've found we go for family drives. And I don't know if there's any other teenagers that are ready and excited to leave with their parents every weekend to go on adventures. You know, it's like they want to do things with their friends and things. Nope, they just want to jump in the car and go to the nature, like we were kind of like we were talking about earlier. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's that connection time that you make special with them. It's going to shape so many things for you in the future.
Hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like you said, connection is very important, you know. And, and because what, like you said, they want that connection with us. And usually, what is the result of that? We see behavior issues, or they're doing things that they shouldn't to get our attention.
Yeah.
And plays a very important role with children.
Definitely. Well, and it's so great that you are able to reach the families in such a broad way. I think there's a little delay in our recording. I apologize for that. But I think that
It's okay.
not only not only do children learn from children's books, but how much do parents learn when they're reading it and they say, oh my gosh, I need to start doing this in my own life so that I can help this child as well.
Yeah, I've heard parents say that about some of my books, especially Rex's Journey. Like I need her myself. So yes, because even though the purpose is a children book, but it's actually the skills are so significant to our lives that anyone can utilize them. I'm just trying to get the attention of the children. They're thinking, but it's a lesson for everyone, really, any age group.
I love that about books. Now you can go find the book on your website, I'm assuming. Where else is it now? On Amazon, things like that?
Mhm. Yeah, it's on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million. It's at Walmart and at the indie bookstores.
Oh, great.
Yeah, but it's on my website. You can go there and just click on our books, and it'll take you to the book website.
I love that. And for those of you who are listening and not watching, it is Dr. Ambrose Pass-Turner.com. I'll have that in the show notes. So just in case you want a link to click on directly. But definitely go there to find out more about this book. But let's talk about some of the other things. You do have other books and another project I'm excited to talk about soon too.
Yeah. I have the ADHD Warrior. And also the ADHD Warrior comes with an activity book. And this is a great book. And I'm not just saying this because I wrote it. But when I wrote this book, I was thinking about I need for children to be able to see themselves in this book. I need them to see the symptoms and the behavior with ADHD accomplished. When children, because I use this a lot in my practice when I have children who have ADHD, and they'll look and someone would say, I do that. I can't sit still. I'm always talking when the teacher talking, right? Because I believe in order for children to get better, they have to be able to acknowledge what's going on. So once I get that child to acknowledge it, do you think that is an issue? Would you like that to be better? Yes. So in the ADHD Warrior book, it's the opportunity for children to see actually what they go through with ADHD, or even if you don't have ADHD, just knowing some of the symptoms, it teaches you how to work with that. Because you might even not have the diagnosis of ADHD. But in this book, the parent decided that they didn't want to do medication. Okay. So it looks at the things that we need to do. If we don't want to do medication, then maybe let's look at our diet. Okay. And then I had parents in the book to develop a focus plan. And then I break it down how you do that, how you implement that focus plan. and things like that. I talk about how important it is in the book to collaborate with the school, the teachers.
Absolutely.
That relationship is so important, and making adjustments in the classroom. Like you might have to move Johnny to the front and things like that. So that's a good book. And then I decided, okay, so there's the book. So next, I'm going to develop an activity book. And the purpose of the activity book, skills to sit, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, and just work on those and to just think through things. So, yeah. So that's ADHD Warrior, and it also has an activity book.
Oh, I love that. And that's good for so many age groups, and especially for like you said, maybe even supporting the students around you. That if you read this as a non-diagnosed student, you could say, oh, this is how I might be able to help my friend. I noticed that they lose track of things. Maybe I could help give them reminders, or pat them on the shoulder if I notice that something's going on. And what a beautiful way to kind of engage everyone to help one another. Community build, right? It's so important.
Right.
And that book is also on your website and the workbook. So please, again, go to Dr. Ambrose Pass-Turner.com and make sure that you get those resources for your family, student, whatever individual, however you're working with that individual client. So, so important and wonderful resources. Well, I'm excited to talk about the kind of newest thing, and not that the Logan book isn't the newest thing, right? It's kind of like me. You're just on to the next newest thing. But let's talk about your new podcast coming out.
Yes. Well, I have a new podcast coming out, and the name of the podcast is Parents Talk. And this podcast is geared towards parents, because parents, you are the expert of your children. You, the parents, are the guest, will be the guest on my podcast. And what it is an educational podcast.
Parents Talk,
and so
or Parents
Talk? Parents,
okay.
with the S.
Okay.
Parents.
Let me take that. Okay, I just want to make sure I had that right. There we go. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to do, I had this idea, is it's an educational podcast where parents can come on and ask me questions. Nothing's off limit. Okay. If you say, well, my child is having some issues, we explore that. We'll talk about that with you, and let's see what you're doing, and I'm going to educate you. It's not therapy. It's just education on things that you can try. And then I want parents to share your success story. If you have a child who has ADHD or autism, tell us what you're doing, because parents can learn from each other. So I wanted to be like a show, but like a support for parents to know, what I've seen this year, and school has just started, is that parents sometimes have a whole lot of fear about the IEP and the 504, right? Well, maybe I can educate you on that process.
I love that.
If you have questions, you have concern, I can educate you on that. I can talk to you about that. I can help you do the questions that you need to ask when you're sitting in those meetings, So it's all about educating parents and providing, the questions, the answers. So I wrote it like this on the advertisement. Parents, you ask the questions, and I would to them, and so we can just sit there and have a conversation and just be relaxed and just talk about it. I want you to empower and motivate their children. So that's the idea behind the Parent Talk podcast, strictly for parents and caregiver who cares for children.
That's wonderful. Oh, I wish you so much luck with that. It's going to be amazing. There's so much that can come from parents sharing their stories and experiences, the way that, data information versus anecdotal information is, there's a place for everything, but there is so much to be said for living experience and sharing that, especially success stories, can be so helpful to families. So thank you so, so much. You're just bringing so many amazing, wonderful, valuable resources to my favorite community, the children. Yes, I love it. Well, it's been so much fun catching up
and a lot
with
of
you.
times,
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I know it's been great to see you again. I did attend your autism summit a few months ago. Was it? Yeah,
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Oh, that's wonderful. The one in April, maybe. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. What a wonderful support. And hopefully you got some good information from it. I remember seeing you.
I did. You had. Yeah. You had some great people in there, and they had some great resources too. I took note.
Oh, wonderful. I love that.
Notes of some of the stuff they had to offer that,
This is the best. It's the best way to share this information is on through these platforms and these, summits and podcasts and books. Take advantage of them, people. They are amazing. Again, Dr. Ambrose Pass-Turner, it's been so much fun having you on today. And please, everyone, go and support her on her website and all social medias, of course, and get the book and books. And of course, check out her new podcast coming out so that you can, maybe if you're a parent and you would like to ask some questions, please reach out and myself or Dr. Ambrose could get you started. So it was so great to have you on today.
Yes. Thank you, and appreciate you for having me. And I look forward to having you on my podcast.
Woo-hoo. I love that. Well, I look forward to staying in touch, and we'll chat after this in just a second.
Okay, thank you.
Heart of the city, she's shining bright. Oh yeah, stories of love and courage all throughout the night. Her voice resonating, an anthem for all through the trials and the trial. She answers the call, a mother and a fighter, breaking barriers in stride. With love as her guide, she'll never hide. She's changing the world for you with a heart that's fierce strong, empathy's a melody. In our journey we all belong. Followers gather like stars in the night. So bright, 44,000 voices sharing in the light. She stands for family, advocates for more. A movement of compassion, ways will soar. Podcast together, a symphony of support. Creating life, changing rapport. She's changing the world for you with a heart that's But these melodies